Welcome to Broken Bushcraft. I'm Adam. And today we're going to talk about how to put together a disaster kit with items that are already in your home. With the weather turning like it is, it's getting ready to snow. In some places it already has snowed. There's flooding in the Pacific Northwest. So items that you have in your home to consolidate to prepare you for an emergency. So the better prepared you are now, the less you have to think about it when the crap hits the fan. So stick with me. A disaster preparedness kit. Well, what is it? It's simply the items you have in your home that you're going to consolidate to bring together so you're not looking for these items when something bad happens. Now, something bad can be a typhoon, a hurricane, a snowstorm, an ice storm, COVID, whatever. It's keeping you and your family in the house. Now, when I was a young Marine and we would have typhoons coming, we would track the typhoon, and right before the typhoon got to Okinawa, we would go and all get together and fill up our bathtubs with ice and beer. There was never any food unless we had some ramen noodles. We were relying on other people to bring us food, or we were relying on other units to bring us MREs, or we would go have to provide MREs to other people. I don't want to ever be in that situation, especially where my family is concerned. And I don't want you to be in that situation, especially where you or your family is concerned. Now, these kits, we have a pantry, so everything here is basically already consolidated. But if you don't have a pantry, these are small and compact. You can keep these in a tote, a Tupperware tote, a cooler, a bucket, anything. Actually, I inherited this. This is an emergency bucket. Everything in here was bad, but it comes with, it's a toilet. But if you're gonna ever use this as a toilet, you wanna put bags in here and have because you don't want to be going right in the bucket, especially if your kit is in this bucket, because then you have to dump it all out and then go to the potty, and then there you go. So, but if you want to get a bucket and make it a little squatty potty, absolutely do that, but have some trash bags, extra trash bags to go in there so that when you defecate or urinate, it can go right in there. So we talked about, that's the container. So let's go with water. Water is probably one of the most important things. Now, we keep 5-gallon jugs. We keep these 5-gallon jugs in the house at all times. We use them so they're always constantly being refreshed and recycled, so we know the water is good. If you want to get one of these, you can store this for about a year, and there's items out there that you can add to this to store it for even longer. So if you want to get something like this, you can cap it and keep it sealed, and you can chemical items agents that you put in there will prevent algae and stuff or any kind of growth for almost up to 3 years. So water is a big thing, especially when you lose power and you don't have the access to water. Now, if you do have access to water, maybe you live near a pond or a river, then you're going to want to filter it. This is a more bigger filter. I can filter a lot of water faster than this rather than like a Life Straw or my iodine tablets. So these are just things that I can have that will allow me to filter that water. Next is food. Now for food, I'm not going to cover too much because you're at home. So hopefully you have a supply at home. It can be canned goods. It can be, you can buy the 72-hour kits that are out there sold online. You can make your own MRE type things. But you want to have about 72 hours worth of food, and most of you have that in your homes already, or hopefully you do. Next is a small first aid kit. Just another IFAK. You see there's a tourniquet in here, there's the boo-boo kits in here. This is just for minor nicks and scrapes. And the stuff you have in your medicine cabinet you've just consolidated here. I can't tell you how many times I've gone looking for a Band-Aid and not been able to find it, so I have to go to my pack and then grab a Band-Aid out of that, because at least I know that's where that's at. A hand crank radio. Now, hand crank radios are great. This also has a solar power on top, so I can charge up my phones. I can listen to the weather forecasts on this. And if you're gonna have a solar power or hand crank radio to charge your phones, then you're also gonna wanna have the cords as well. Batteries, I cannot stress this enough. For every item you have in your home, be it flashlights, lanterns, whatever, you should have a surplus of batteries. You can get these really cheap at Costco, Amazon, wherever, but you wanna have a bunch of batteries for what you're gonna have. Flashlights. if you have kids, this is something that's good, is every person in your house should have a flashlight. You know, sometimes it makes kids more comfortable. They're able to control the light. You want to have a flashlight. I like using the headlamps because I have hands free, but these flashlights, or these even, are really cheap and inexpensive. You get these at Walmart. Harbor Freight, go there and buy a bunch of flashlights for like $5 and they'll last still. Perfect for these kids. Chem Lights. I like Chem Lights because this way I'm not using batteries for this. If I need to, I crack one open, I don't have to burn a candle, I don't have to burn a lantern, I don't have to use any other source except for this right here. And it's not overly bright. I can use this as a signaling device if I need to signal for help. And I can just use these around the house to help guide me to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Candles. If you have candles, these are great because you're not using your batteries. Burn these up before you burn up your flashlights. Emergency blankets. Now, I'm home, I have access to all of my blankets, I have access to heat, like to be able to put clothes on, to heat myself up. I can put on a sweatshirt like this handsome one right here. But these emergency blankets are really good because if it does start dropping down, these Mylar blankets, they do hold in a lot of heat, so it's a way for you to kind of control the heat loss that you're probably gonna have. If you have the ability to make a fire, then that's great. You can cook on that fire. You can heat your house up or your room up on that fire. It's a good tool. It's great to have if you have that. But if you don't have it, don't bring your charcoal grill into the house and start burning that to heat yourself up because you're just gonna kill everybody in your house. Duct tape or Gorilla tape, you can't go wrong with this. There's 1,001 uses of this. So you can tape up your windows to hold the heat in. You can use those Mylar blankets and tape up the windows if you have a small apartment. You can fix tears on your clothes. You can use a fire starter. You guys know this stuff is great. A lighter, always have a lighter. How are you gonna light your candles if you don't have a lighter? A whistle. Now, a whistle is used to signal help. Rather than yelling, you can yell all you want. People will ignore that. But if people start hearing a whistle, they're gonna pay attention to where that's coming from. So have a whistle. It's small, easy, and convenient. And you're not gonna blow out your voice by blowing the whistle. A multi-tool, some type of multi-tool. Now I like a multi-tool rather than having a bunch of tools. So I can use, this has a can opener on it, it has pliers, it has a knife, it has all the stuff I need to get me through. If you do have canned goods in your house, you wanna have a can opener. It could be a manual can opener. If you have an electric one, no power, well, it's just a paperweight. A good multi-tool or Swiss Army knife, you can open those cans up, or even a regular knife, you can open those cans up. These are some items that I like to have, but you don't need to have. So Clorox wipes, I like that. So if I do use this squatty potty and say, for example, I get poo on the bucket, poo on the pail, well, I can wipe it up. Also, I can wipe up my hands, we can wipe up, Clorox wipes or disinfectant wipe of some sort. Hand sanitizer, you wanna keep your hands clean. Trash bags. Get the big industrial trash bags, the contractor trash bags. You can use these for a lot of things. You can use them to cover up the windows to hold the heat in. You can use them for trash. You can use them, put them in the squatty potty to catch the waste, whatever. Wet wipes and toilet paper. I like to use the wet wipes because I can use those to wash my body with, but I can also use them to wet my butt. So wet wipes are great to put in there. If you do have a squatty potty or one of these potties that you use in the house, you're gonna want to have bags. You can buy the bags for these. You can use, if you have a pet or dog, then you can use those bags. If you have store bags, you can use those, trash bags, etc. Convenience is this gel that you put on top of the waste, so that way it absorbs it, so you're not sitting there smelling it the entire time, especially if you're in an enclosed area, but you definitely want to be getting rid of that. Last thing I want to talk about is a way to heat up your food. It could be a camp stove, it could be a grill, whatever. You want to have fuel and a way for you to cook it. Now when you're in a situation where it's cold and you're stuck at home, that hot meal can change that morale significantly. And all this stuff fits conveniently in a nice bucket. Now the bucket you get, or the container tab, you can have a cooler. You can have a cooler where you put the stuff in, a bucket you get from Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, but you want to keep it in one location. So this just goes, in the pantry, so it's there. I know where all my stuff is at, and we take that stress out. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you take something away from it, and I hope you prepare before it's too late. You don't want to prepare when everybody else is preparing. You want to prepare now before a disaster happens. Take care of yourselves. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in the woods.